So it seems Jez Corden has decided that he's going to break an exclusive. And what an exclusive this one is. It's the handheld and the console that we've known that's coming for quite some time. And apparently, Xbox is partnering up. Now, I know a number of you are going to turn around and say, well, isn't that what they've done with like Asus and Lenovo and everyone else? I'm excluding the Steam Deck because it can't natively install Game Pass. And well, that's the selling factor for Xbox fans, being able to install native Game Pass games and playing them. If you really want to go cloud, there are cheaper alternatives out there. So, what does this all mean? Is there a release date? Is there any new information? Well, apparently in this article, it's all there for all you to see. So, I thought, why not talk about it? But first of all, I didn't stream today because I was unavailable, and tomorrow I'm probably not going to stream again. That is Tuesday. That is because I'm still trying to get my PC up to speed. Now, my camera wasn't working properly, and it turned out it was actually a USB adapter, but I went the nuclear option and formatted my PC, so it's just taking me a little bit to actually get everything up and running. I've managed to get OBS up and running, but that's really about it. I still need to get a bunch of other stuff to get it to where it needs to be. But anyway, that's the housekeeping out the way and where I'm going to be. So Wednesday and Thursday are going to be the days I stream next, hopefully, with everything being in good place. So let's talk about the new devices right after the drop. So we have the new handheld, and that's coming. We know it should be coming soon, but apparently a partnered version of the handheld, or a handheld, is going to be dropping this year, according to Jez Corden. Now, if we go over to his article, you can see here that they're talking about the new Xbox and the new handheld. Exclusive Xbox's new hardware plans begin with a gaming handheld set for later this year with a full-gen next-gen console targeting 27. So, the hopes and dreams of a 2026 Xbox has potentially gone out the window, and if that's the case, I think this could be too little too late, but time will tell. Now, the handheld itself is supposed to, well, this is a mock-up, this isn't a representation of what we're looking at, but essentially it's going to have an Xbox button, a guide button, it's going to be Xbox branded, it's going to have the Xbox insignia around, but essentially it is just going to be a generic handheld device that holds, Windows 11. Now, obviously, Microsoft is working very hard and very diligently to get this up and running, especially with the OS being clunky around the smaller screen. So they've got a lot of work cut out for them. But if they price it right, I could see the handheld doing pretty decently. But essentially, if you have an Asus ROG or an Asus ROG Ally, or even a Lenovo, outside of the aesthetic, it's not really giving you anything extra. This just looks like a shell branding partnership with a console. If you remember, they talked about it with Meta as well, having a Meta Quest 3 with the Xbox branding all over it, which would come with a controller and with 3 months of Game Pass. That's kind of cool if that actually happened. So I suspect this partnered handheld is going to be the same. Now, the big one obviously is the news that 2027 is going to be when the next Xbox lands. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have been saying, and I still believe that 2026 is going to be the year that we see the new console, but late 2026, not early 2026. I think that's when we're going to see this new console. But according to Jez Corden, it's 2027. Now, the next Xbox console isn't going to be a traditional one. The more I hear about it, the more I hear murmurings around. It's just going to be at best, a hybrid of a machine that can basically play all your backwards compatible games like your Xbox One, Xbox Series games, but also give you access to like the other side but also give you access to the other side of the OS, which is Windows, whether that's going to be a full fat version of Windows that you get access to, or a tailored version that kind of locks a lot of it away but provides you with enough to be able to download Steam, Epic and stuff like that. Again, I don't really see how that benefits Microsoft outside of the fact that they don't really have to provide, pay studios to port games over to Xbox anymore. They can just make them come to Steam, and that's that. I see this, the more they integrate with Steam and Epic and PC, the further away from the console they get. But this is actually really interesting, and I know a lot of people are making all sorts of commotion about this right now. But I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, especially with this branded handheld that's coming later this year. What will be the deciding, the differentiator of this versus something that's already out there? Microsoft is, they mentioned the handheld quite early on, but they've pretty much been beaten to the punch by almost everyone. The one thing that is clear here is that the duality of consoles is something Microsoft isn't prepared to let go. Now, the Series S was a fantastic learning experience for them, and I can see that what they want to do is get a Series S style of machine and plug it into the handheld, and by doing that, they've got a pretty good handheld that can play, Xbox games and PC games. But that's going to take a lot of engineering and a lot of time. So who knows how that's going to turn out. One thing I can say though is that this handheld, if it does land this year, it needs to have a selling factor. And for me, that selling factor, that USP, isn't the cosmetics, isn't the fact that it can run PC Game Pass, even though that is definitely a bonus. It's more to see if it can run the backwards compatibility games. Now that is the key here for the success, in my opinion, of the handheld. Microsoft has gone around parading that this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox. Well, if it is an Xbox, I should be able to play all my games. And if I can't, then it doesn't really feel like an Xbox. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that we're going to see the handheld this year? There's been a lot of talk about it. Phil said it's like 3 years away, but it's possible that we're going to see the handheld this year, or at least a OEM version of the handheld. We're probably ain't going to see the one that's coming from Microsoft directly, but we are going to see them partner with other hardware manufacturers to deliver a handheld for you. I'm assuming it's going to land around, Christmas time. So at least that's a rough guess from me. There is one thing to consider. A lot of people are expecting GTA 6 to actually get delayed into 2026. And it's quite possible that it will be delayed pretty much to the end of the year. That will obviously coincide with Call of Duty, among other games. But here's the real thing. Does Microsoft want to pass up the opportunity if the delay does happen, where they can turn around and say the best place to play Grand Theft Auto 6 right now is whatever the next Xbox is called? I don't think it's something that they would want to pass up. That, GTA 6 is going to sell millions of consoles. Millions. I think this right now is the perfect opportunity for it. And in my opinion, delaying it to 2027, or I guess it's not really a delay, but releasing it a year later than GTA 6 just doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, let me know in the comment section below if it makes sense to you, and let's have that discussion. Alright folks, I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.